Now we're going to tackle a piece that kind of rounds a corner, so it's more not rounds, but is flush to a corner, and essentially is a piece like this with a piece like this running down the side. So we will we'll start with this geometry, and this will help us to get everything kind of into position. So I'm going to grab this one here, and I'm going to move it so it's not centered, but it's off over here. So let's go up. Turn my snapping off. There we go. Move this up 4 millimeters. That's off to one side. I'm going to go to this guy. And we're going to rotate it. Let's turn our symmetry off here. Action center to auto. So we'll go right in the middle. And then we're going to rotate it down this way. 90 degrees. And we're going to drag it down 4.8 millimeters, and that will put it so that this edge is flush with that edge. And then actually we need to drag it back 1.6 millimeters because this one only has about half the width of the piece there. So that will set us up here pretty nicely. So let's start by just taking this, running a loop slice right down the middle. Then I'm going to grab this loop here and cut it. Grab this entire underside, because the underside of this one is completely smooth. We'll cut that out. Okay, so now let's go into our good old practice of filling up an edge here that we've got created. So go ahead and select all of this. Actually, sorry, before I do that, I'm going to run a loop slice here, because if I don't have it, it's going to get set it at 4%, so it's even with the bottom one. As soon as I start bridging across, I'm going to get all this rounding, and it's going to make it just a little harder to recognize what's going on. So I'm going to deselect all of this and all of this. So I have that hole there, and I'm going to go ahead and bridge. And now we're left with our friendly bridging techniques here. So I'm going to go ahead and select this, run, oops, I'm going to set this at symmetry and count at 2. And pull that back to 2%. I'm going to run down the middle here, and I think I'll just use that 43% that we used before. And I'm going to run down this one and down this one, uniform, and down the middle, uniform. And now let's turn on our, well, actually we're not going to have any symmetry, unfortunately, since we moved this down already. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, deselect the end, and deselect the other end. And then we'll go ahead and bridge this together. And actually, let's make sure we have our number of edges right. See, it should be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. That looks right here, so let's go ahead and bridge that. Something seems a little off on that count, but I guess we're okay. Alrighty. Okay, so let's go here to the bottom side, do the same thing. Deselect that end. Oops, keep that one. That one. Bridge. And there we go. Okay, so now we just need to attach this to this. And obviously we could go the easy route, just put them in the same mesh layer and call it a deal, but how lazy would that be, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll one up doing nothing, and we'll do something. Let's go under here. So what I want to do is, I know that my horizontal number of edges here is going to match up this one to this one because they're based off of the same piece. And all I need now is to attach, I know I need 3 vertical ones here and 3 vertical ones there. So I'm going to select right down the middle here, shift up arrow, and that will give me this whole selection. I'm going to cut that out. And then I'm going to go to the other piece. Let's show that one in the background. I select all this down the middle. Again, shift up arrow and cut. All right, and then what I'm going to look to do here is let's now get everything. And since I have this, I'm going to use just this empty mesh layer. I'm just going to copy this all and paste it into the empty layer so I have everything together. Unsubdivide here and have a little look at what's going on. I'm going to grab this edge here and I'm going to move it. Actually, let's do this. Let's scale it. Set my action center to element. I'll just select this edge here, flatten that down. So that works. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this edge, but with this edge first of all. But I don't want to get the whole section all the way around onto there. What I want to do is I want to use this wide part here as kind of a buffer zone. So I'll scale everything up until there, down to where it will meet this. So again, let's run the scale tool, select this edge, and scale that down. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Let's see if I get a little edge-long view, I might be able to just do this right here. Check this to make sure I got it even on both sides. Oops, looks like I missed one edge. Not bad though. So again, scale tool, select this bottom edge this time. And since I select this bottom edge, everything's going to get angled because it's dealing with this corner surface. So I can just go in here and set my axis back to auto. And we'll just drag that flat. And now we should be ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and run just select everything first here. I can see if this is happening. And let's subdivide. It'll make it even more obvious. And then we'll go to Vertex, Merge Tool, drag it all the way down to 0. We should see deselections along there. It looks like we have a little bit, sadly, a little bit of work that needs to happen underneath here. And that's okay. So I'll go ahead and drop my tool. Let's unsubdivide and see what we have here. Yes, so this edge will need to align to this point right here. So I'm going to run my scale tool again. And I just want to be able to get at this vertex. If I can. Let's do this then. Let's just get to this one. It's not letting me get that vertex, but we can just move this down to there. And now I can go through here. Oops. I'm just going to select these two edges. Run Merge Tool. And I'm just going to keep it. Let's get it down. It does not want to drop very quickly. My mouse is tracking kind of funny. I'm just going to kind of step this up. Oops. And even 100 doesn't let me get that, does it? So let's just do it this way. We'll do it the old-fashioned way with vertices. Here and grab this vertex too. There we go. We'll just do join averaged. There we go. That part right. Maybe we don't. Oops. Oh yeah, I'm going to need to run a loop slice through here, so that's okay for now. And what it is, I'll need to just grab this loop here and drag that up. So our action center back to automatic. Pull all the way up. We still have a few edges that aren't quite attached here, so we'll need to adjust that before we keep going. Oops, and actually, sorry, my mistake. Looks like I thought I had that lined up, and I have it aligned on this side, but not on that side. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to mirror this over. So I'm going to select this whole loop here and this whole loop here, and I'm just going to cut and paste it back in. I select this part, cut it out, select this whole part, Shift V, and I want this to go across the x-axis. Apply. And we'll also attach my geometry where it can. So at least it should. So let's grab this, and we'll run our merge tool. Pull it all the way back down to 0. That may have actually fixed our corner here too. Let's unsubdivide and check this. So I got that all the way around to the edge. Yep. And let's just go ahead and drag this up to even that out. I'm going to grab this guy here and drag it over closer. And we'll check that. Okay, so we do have a few last little edges to attach here. So let's turn our symmetry on to the X. Yep, so we don't have to do this more than once. I'm just going to grab these edges here, scale, and action center I'm going to change to element with the axis to auto. Just grab this guy, scale that flat. Do the same thing here. Scale this flat. And the same thing here. It looks like we might actually already be there. No, we're not. Let's grab this guy and this guy. Scale tool again. There we go. Oh, I didn't want to move before. That's okay. And I'm just going to grab these two verts, that one and this one, and join averaged. We'll do the same thing over here. It's going to be quicker than doing it the other way. Grab this guy, and this guy, and again join averaged. We're getting closer here. This guy and this guy. Scale tool here. That edge. That edge. Join averaged. And finally this one here. That one there. Join averaged. And that should do it. Now we did get a little bit of a pull here on this. We'll go ahead and just align this just to make our edge nice and even. Change ourself back to auto action, center, and there we go. Look at that. Go over to our model view. There we go. We are, oops, sorry. Always forgetting about these guys here. These are the same thing. They're beveled in. So again, bevel in 0.6. Bevel in 0.1. And then we'll go back. 1.6. So the height of these in 0.1 again. And I'm just going to shift up arrow and take it back. Just going to select these edges in here. Loop slice. Since these are really short, I'll run it at 4%. I'm just going to double check, make sure my UVs are gone out of these. UVs. There we go. And now we're ready. This is actually where the front of the helicopter will attach. Let's check that in our quad view. Yep, that is looking pretty nice. Alright, so we'll select that layer, save our preset, and we are good to go. So this is going to be, gosh, corner, yeah, let's call it vertical corner. Vertical corner. There we go. Save that. Our layout. There it is. All right, guys. See you in the next video.